President Barack Obama's Heartland Tour 2012, campaigning for the national Democratic ticket of Obama and Joe Biden, arrived in Shell Lake Thursday morning, August 23rd, with Wisconsin Assembly Minority Leader Peter Barca of the 64th District and 73rd Assembly Representative Nick Milroy.
To go until a very big election with a big, clear choice to make.
Of serving in Congress with Vice President Biden, and he was up in southeastern Wisconsin about a month ago, and we had a chance to talk for a little while. He said, Peter, he said, the interesting thing is, he said, I've been in politics 30 years. And he said, the Republicans have quit pretending. He said they quit pretending that they really stand up for women's rights.
Yeah.
They quit pretending that they really care about the middle class. He said they quit pretending that they really want people to have health care.
Yeah.
And it's so true, it's so obvious. I mean, we've seen in Wisconsin, that unfortunately, people that work for $9 an hour here in Wisconsin, Governor Walker, the Republicans, Roger Rivard, raise their taxes. Now, they have to explain, how can you justify doing that when you give $2.3 billion in tax breaks, for special interest, a total tax exemption on junk mail? How many people want more junk mail? Nobody, right? They raise taxes on seniors through the homestead credit. How do you explain that? Then, equally as bad, equal pay for equal work. We thought we solved that, 30 years ago. And they go and they pass something to take that away. And then the excuse is, well, they have it at the federal level. Don't think for 1 minute, if Romney and Ryan are elected, they won't repeal it on a federal level too. It's outrageous. And then schools, which are so vital to our future in Wisconsin. Such a Wisconsin value of something we believe in. They said we don't have enough money for schools anymore. So they took $1.6 billion out of the schools here in Wisconsin. And yet, people like Roger Rivard sent $40 million to voucher schools in Milwaukee that are totally unaccountable. How can you explain those kind of trade-offs? And that's what this election is all about, is we know President Obama, we know Stephen Smith will stand up for working class people to try and build the economy from the ground up. That's one of the president's themes. And you look at tax policy, whether it's a state or federal level, and it's the same issue. What made America the economic envy of the world? It was having a strong middle class that were able to buy goods and services and support their families with dignity. And if the middle class is empowered, they'll start buying more automobiles. They'll fix up their houses. They'll spend money on new appliances. And that's why it's so vital in this election at the federal level and certainly here in Shell Lake, for your state representative, that we all work hard, spread the word, let people know what's at stake here. And I can say that, you got a great candidate here in Stephen Smith. Be sure to use him in Madison.
That's right. You couldn't have a better setting here today for the RV tour, the Heartland tour for President Obama. And I think we have seen a real drastic change in American politics when a presidential candidate chooses someone like Paul Ryan to be his running mate. Paul Ryan is the extreme right of the Republican Party. He has a long career of supporting some of the most extreme issues and agendas of the GOP. Just recently, we had a congressman come out who's running for U.S. Senate and say that, what did he say? Something about not all rape is legitimate rape, and somebody who gets raped can't really get pregnant anyway. Well, Congressman Ryan has supported the type of measures that they were talking about to restrict access to women's health care issues in instances of rape and incest, where we have these extreme people running around the country saying you can't get pregnant by rape. I mean, this is how ridiculous and what we're up against here. And we can't continue to shift to the right, because we've seen what has happened. And it's not only the social policies. This is really about the economic policies. Paul Ryan has supported the philosophy that we went through in the 80s when we were in the last great recession. We need to come out of the current recession by building the middle class, not by giving tax breaks to millionaires and tax cuts to corporations that send our jobs overseas. We've seen the same thing right here in Wisconsin, in the state legislature, where the Republican majorities have done nothing but cut education and give handouts to corporations that have tax shelters out of state. They don't pay their fair share here in Wisconsin, and middle class people are suffering because of it. You know, every single day I have constituents that come to me with issues, whether they're going through foreclosures on their homes, whether they're fighting to try to get adequate health care for their families, or even get proper coverage based on pre-existing conditions, or just dealing with insurance companies. It's really bankrupting a lot of middle-class families. We need the type of security that President Obama and the Democratic Congress put in place to make sure that everybody has access to affordable health care. And that's what we're going to have by re-electing President Obama and sending people like Pat Kreitlow to represent us in Congress.